This is the intro, by the way, but it's happening right now.
Yeah, no, it's all written down. Yeah, like I'm doing this word for word.
It's just us arguing about what we're going to call it, and then it just starts. Hey, welcome to Front Seat Gamer. This is the second episode in our 7 Gates series over the holidays. In the last episode, Len, Steve, and Petyr approached the city walls, or began to approach the city walls of the Thorned City. What was the city's name? Mightstone.
Interesting.
We had just fought off an ambush by some Thorned people who seemed to be sentient. We found
Which is quite unusual for Thorn people.
Yes. We found a child in a tree. We threw a fireball at it. I charmed the pants off this kid, not literally. And now he's going to guide us to the city limits. And that's where we pick up. By the way, I'm here with Rory, Ed, and Blake. Ed is playing Steve. Blake is playing Petyr.
You can just say
Petyr.
I thought everyone else would have last names, but everyone's with Steve and Len.
Yes, we're the silly ones. Yes, you're right. We're the silly ones. Petyr.
They're even just one syllable names.
Yeah,
They're not even.
Yeah, it's easy to remember. Super easy.
Petyr.
Yeah. Petyr. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
So-
Take us there, Rory.
So, if you remember last time, you were on the outskirts of the city. The city itself was surrounded by colossal trees, foliage growing up the walls. There was long withered siege equipment from the big battle that occurred here almost 10 years ago, and the portcullis is down and grown over with thorns. The young child says, well, there's 2 ways you can do it. I usually climb up the trees, but there's thorns growing up the trees, and that's kind of a bit dangerous for you. The alternative is to see if you can get some of that siege equipment there working, move it a bit closer to the walls. Or you can just try and blow a hole through the front gate. But Petyr is nodding interestedly.
I like the idea of the siege equipment myself.
I have a cunning plan.
Okay, let's hear it. Petyr.
First of all, I can fly short distances.
What? Go on.
You can climb walls.
Oh yeah, no, I can climb walls. Actually,
That's a pretty big difference.
Everyone,
Watch as I
fly
a short distance, and then climbs the wall.
I can fly. I use my pyromancy abilities to create flames at my feet, and like Iron Man,
I think you mean Baron Mon.
you're those people who jump out windows on acid trips thinking they can fly.
So I will have no problem getting over the wall. So I could do that, or I can also blast a hole through the wall.
Or there's the siege weaponry. No?
I feel like that's...
I vigorously feel like the siege weaponry is a good idea.
I could jump over the wall. I could either fly over the wall or climb over the wall if the wall's not too covered in thorns.
It's covered in vines and thorns.
Yeah,
Just
so
go
I'm
for the viney part.
definitely going for the flying part.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'll get to the other side of the wall, and you were saying, like, in the previous episode, you were saying that it looked like there had been, like, a hole or something that vines had grown
over the portcullis.
Yeah. Wait, so that's not...
That is sort of the front gate.
Yeah.
Front gate,
so
yeah.
I can
should have done an intelligence check on that one.
I can flamethrower the vines and burn them out of the way, and these guys can just happily walk through.
Although the scout has informed you that people inside the city would probably notice if their front defense burnt away. But maybe you make it awesome.
Well, we kind of want to do it, things quite friendly, right?
You're right. So I'm gonna.
So siege weapons.
I'll hold both of you guys under my arms. Well, because I have like 4 arms, and I will launch myself using my pyromancy abilities to Iron Man fly us over the wall.
The probability of it succeeding is getting lower and lower the more details you add to your plan. But yes, go on.
That will that. I see
That's
nothing
it?
wrong with this. That's the plan.
Okay, and you're using fire to propel yourself upwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm apprehensive about letting you touch me, but we'll see
What's wrong?
a friend
what's
of
wrong?
mine has a thing. It's a friend.
You weren't worried about this last night.
Shh. You weren't meant
You
to.
know when we shook hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's that. Yeah.
Yeah, when we were drinking and we didn't arm wrestle.
I remember that.
For the listeners at home, the others are not aware that Len has been infected with the Thorn Curse, and thorns are slowly growing inside him, and he could become infectious at any point if he does not recover. On that note, Len, an hour has passed.
Oh.
It's time for you to decide whether you're able to resist the curse, or whether it's going to get worse.
Okay.
So you might want to reshuffle those attempts back into your skill
Yes,
deck.
I want my excellent attempt back in there.
So, you'll need to get a excellent attempt or better to improve, and a worthy attempt or worse will mean it gets worse.
By my, I think I have a 4 in 11 chance, something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
You can use your vigor checks to attempt the check again.
I may end up having to do that. Utter failure.
Okay. Are you going to use your
I'm going to vigorously try to not get
Okay.
worse.
Yep.
So, turning over
What
my
does this
vigor.
look like to us? Because this is kind of what's
I am-
happening internally in you.
I'm making eye contact.
I'm also talking to you about this plan at the
Yes.
same time.
I'm looking at Petyr Pakar, not breaking eye contact. My face is going more and more red. I'm going. You can see veins popping in my forehead, and I have an excellent attempt.
Right. Okay. So you recover one of your maximum life cards, and you're able to hold off the thorn curse. You feel it growing. You sort of feel it growing up your arm. You can clutch your arm tightly and it force it down as best you can.
I am literally poking a thorn back down into my skin, with veins bulging in my head and neck, and just staring directly at Petyr Pakar. I have not broken eye contact at all.
I say, you know what? I have second thoughts of touching you as well.
I'm no people person, but I think he's not too down with your plan.
Yeah.
I go, siege engine!
Alright, I think he really wants to see you.
Okay.
I would agree.
So there are 2 or 3 actual colossal wheeled towers that would be used to scale the walls. There's also a catapult if you want to throw yourself onto the walls with a catapult.
Mm-hmm.
It's your call.
Look, it's up to you guys.
I haven't done an intelligence check. I'm not very smart. I want to be vigorous about this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like climbing the tower is the good idea.
Alright, I am going to fireball. No, I'm gonna check out these siege towers and see if they're how safe they are using my superior intellect.
Right.
Fireball.
And fireball.
Okay, yep, go for it.
Worthy attempt?
Worthy attempt. Okay. It looks like one of them is definitely beyond repair. It looks like if you climb it, it will probably tip over backwards and fall into the forest. One of them looks like you could jump from it to one of the colossal trees that is growing around.
But those colossal
the
trees are
walls.
also covered in vine and...
No, not all of them. No, this one appears to just be like an ancient jungle tree.
Okay.
It's just sort of starting to lean against the city walls. It would be a fair jump from the tree to the walls, but not a jump you haven't made before. And the other one looks like you could probably actually get it, so it's actually rolling.
I'll also have a good look at the catapults
Okay.
to see if there's any repairs we could make to that in any way of
Right.
catapulting any of us over.
There are a few broken ones that are almost completely covered by vines
Right.
now, but there is one that looks like you could strap it together and get it functional.
Okay.
No idea how much force you
Yeah.
would be able to apply to whatever you fire it at. You could even probably rotate it around and fire it in a different direction if, say, you wanted to hit a tree or a small scout child.
I don't need to worry about like.
Or
Wait, are you saying
Can
we
we
can
put the small
fire the
scout
catapult
child-
at the...
in the catapult and aim it at the tree.
He'd just splat. He's not gonna.
I don't recommend it, but I mean,
Okay, so
option
let's.
is available.
I think let's focus on the siege tower, repairing that. 'Cause that's the simplest and probably quietest to
Right,
get
right.
Get
Oh,
over
yeah.
there.
The fastest one is going to be climbing up the one that's near a tree and then
Right.
jumping across from the tree.
That's what.
The
That's
harder one is, but also probably the least likely for you to fall to your death, is the one where you actually repair the wheels and like get it so you can actually move it. Although you need to be pretty strong in order to push it.
this guy, those weights.
Are there any corpses around that I could raise to help?
So actually, that's a good point. You look around and there are all around you. There are like in the undergrowth skeletons of long dead soldiers. Some with thorns wrapped around them, some covered in armor. All of them just like embedded in the bushes. So yes, there are corpses galore, although they're not in peak condition.
Yep. I'll raise. I don't know how many could I.
Probably three.
Three?
Absolute maximum. Yeah.
Yep. I'll attempt to rise 3.
Hey Steve, why are you waving your arms around?
I'm gonna get us some helpers, I am.
Okay. Where from?
Plenty of. Well, there's plenty of bodies lying around on the ground.
Oh, what?
You ain't spotted the bodies.
No.
Steve just walks into a space and knows. Everywhere.
Dang, there's so many of them.
Oh, look at him. Oh, God, I'm standing on him. Oh.
He's got armor on. That's
I don't know why you
rusty
lads
and
are so
junky.
disgusted. It's just buddies. It's just life. Waste of
No, it's
life.
death.
Okay, so you're able to revive. They're a bit. They're a little bit fallen apart, but they'll do
Yep.
the job. And so, are you gonna try and like move the siege tower closer then? Now you've got a workforce.
I feel capable of making the jump. But
Yeah.
you know what?
Look, you know what? It's up to you guys
if
because
you wussy babies want to do,
I can always default to Iron Man over there. So it's up to you guys how you guys want to get over there.
mm-hmm.
I'm just worried about making too much noise and alerting people. And
noise is concern.
Which is why fire from my feet is from.
Because that's really quiet.
No one's gonna see giant flames erupting from your feet.
Okay, let's push the one.
Okay.
All right.
Can I get you all to make vigor checks? I guess it's you on behalf of your skeletons
Yep.
as well.
Worthy attempt.
A worthy attempt.
So another one for the skeletons.
Yep, go for it.
Attempt.
You've got an excellent attempt, and
Utter failure.
so your skeletons, as they attempt to push, like you're all like 3, 2, and the skeletons like push, and their arms just pop off the sockets and fall to the ground. But the rest of you are able to push hard, and it sort of creaks and tips forward rather than rolling forward. It sort of tips forward and just goes clunk, and there's a sort of crash and a clunk as it hits the stone wall.
I think maybe we could climb this now.
Yeah, it does definitely seem. And so you're able to prop it up with some skeletons you found lying around and make it your way up the siege tower. And when you get to the top, you're able to just pop over onto the walls, easy peasy. The scout boy follows you up and he's like, I'm going to have to leave you here. I should get back to my friends.
Yeah, thanks for your help.
Weren't you gonna guide us?
I guided you to the siege tower.
Well, you were standing right next to it.
I pointed it out.
We could see it. It was a siege
It's a
tower.
tower. It's not small.
Look, I won't tell anyone that I saw you.
All right.
I must say, you've been right useless.
Dang, Steve.
He
You're
walks
cold.
dejectedly away.
I look at Steve and questioningly say, "Fireball."
We're not adding to that. That's your own choice.
We'll let it slide this time.
Well, that's a relief.
We've got me code.
Code! Almost murder everything, basically.
So you look out now on the top of the walls, you look out over the city, and it feels almost alive, though not in the traditional sense. From towering palms to blossoming vines, the tall sandstone buildings are covered in lush foliage. The city itself sinks downwards towards the centre, then sweeps suddenly upwards at the walls of the citadel. Below you can see crowd of thorns people congregating, oddly reminiscent of the bustle of city life, though there aren't the shops and the stalls and so on that you remember from back in the day. They do just seem to be like gathering and conversing. Looks like there's some hubbub going on.
Psst, guys, it looks like there's some hubbub going on.
What do you suppose thorn people talk about?
Thorn things.
Would you like to go closer and listen?
I think we gotta be stealthy about this. I mean, on the way in we were attacked, and that kid is gonna tell everybody, so I think we've gotta be a little careful here.
So what's our actual plan? Like, are we...
We gotta get to that citadel. We gotta
And
find
then whereabouts was
the thorn side.
Whereabouts was the citadel? Was it in the...
The city dips down, and then it rises up. God, weren't you listening? I mean, watching... watching the thing that was
thinking about the sweet moves. Iron Manning over the
okay, that makes sense. I see it far in the distance, in the center of the city. There's this rising wall,
Right.
And the citadel rises above that,
Right.
and there's some glowing light above that. Is that a second sun?
There is
Really bright.
It's not above the citadel, but
It's
it
not
is over
above the
behind it.
citadel. What am I saying?
It's over.
I'm delusional.
So the citadel itself, it looks like to get there are a number of bridges that go across the sort of chasm that drops out from below, or it looks like there are just trees and so on that are like laying across that you could even climb onto the top of the citadel from.
Who's their gardener? They do a pretty good job. There's a lot of trees.
They're not well maintained. They're sort of growing a bit everywhere.
Right,
but
that's what I like.
yeah.
Are you a fan of the wild look?
Yeah.
I'm Kent.
Yeah, you do have a beard down to your knees. We know that.
So can you give me a spot check quickly?
So, we're looking for stuff, right?
Yep.
With the attempt.
Just see if you spot anything.
Excellent attempt.
So you can see that there are...
Fumble.
You two, everyone other than Steve, non-Steves, can see that there are some guards that are patrolling the rooftops. But other than that, the rooftops are basically empty. They seem like they're the way to go to get closer to the city, or to the citadel.
It looks like there's enough trees spanning those rooftops that we might be able to worm our way across.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to start heading down that way, make a subterfuge check to see if you can sneak past the patrols?
It's going to be very tough.
I will try and make a subterfuge check.
Yep, all of you just go for it.
Utter failure.
Fumble.
Utter failure.
Oh!
But I have subterfuge.
Yep.
Pull it through for us.
You're going to need an overwhelming success to deal with the failures.
Oh, no, you don't.
You keep that card out.
Oh, okay.
So you don't get it again.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, so you can't get the same result twice. Unless you get the same different copy of that card.
Worthy attempt.
That's not going to be enough to deal with the
I'm
fact that...
walking across a branch, and it snaps below my feet, and I fall directly into a market stall.
You do, yes.
And I shout out, Len!
Although the market stall itself is empty and full of various rotten fruit and so on, everyone around you sort of turns towards you when they see this happen, and there's sort of a silence, like just waiting to see what happens with this person.
I'm just staring at them silently, covered in rotting fruit. My face is going really red and a vein is popping out.
Oh my god.
Oh, you see, he's doing that face again.
The guards, there's like two guards nearby that they sort of like look at each other like, what do we do? And they sort of walk over. You there? Hey, stop! Stay on the ground. What are you doing here?
We're tourists.
Are you saying that from
Yes.
from the road?
Yes.
The guards look up. They look down at the person at their feet. They look up again.
We're here to see the sights of your fine city.
The guards like look at each other and one's like,
A little
no,
boy. A little boy.
go away.
It's a lovely city, I said.
Steve was just commenting on the gardening of your city, how fine it is. He loves the unkempt look, as you can tell from his...
I don't
Hillbilly
care.
man.
I don't care. What are you invading our city? Are
We're
there more of you?
sightseeing.
One of them like walks over to you and puts like a spear to your throat. And
My
Whoa,
face
whoa,
is
we
bright
don't
red
need
and
any
there's a
of
vein
that.
popping out.
Whoa, we don't need any of that here. We're just on our way to check out the sights of this fine citadel.
please give me the mother of all charm check.
I'm very charming.
Okay.
A third of me is very charming. Excellent attempt.
You can go for another one if
I'll
you just
use-
really
I'll
want to
use my
sell
charm.
it. Bring it home.
What if it's a worse one? Does
Oh,
he,
you
does
keep-
it
keep
take
the
the
base
base
one.
one?
Excellent attempt.
Okay.
Two excellent attempts.
attempts. Yeah. So what? So what are you saying to them again?
Charm them.
I am saying, we have heard the tales of this fine city, and we're intrigued to come and see your people and experience your way of life.
I just, for listeners, I want to mention that Petyr is using political hand gestures. He's
Trump-esque.
It's like, you know when they're holding their fists and they're like kind of doing like a half thumbs up and they're like gesturing with their half thumbs. He was literally doing that as he was talking.
And what?
You're going, we want to see the fine sights of your city.
My character has 4 arms, so they're doing that with all of them.
So what the guards again like look at each other and like look at the crowds and they're I guess.
Dang, he's a good speaker. Oh, he's just so good.
We should. The other one said we should really make sure that the Thorn Sire is okay with showing these potential spies around.
Yes, take us to the Thorn Sire.
Well, we're not going to take you to the
Don't
Thorn
do that.
Sire.
That
We're going to go ask her.
Okay.
Okay, just come with us. So you guys come down from the roof, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking around going, this is amazing. I cannot believe this architecture.
I love what you did with that building there, those
These-
vines.
These
You've done
thorns are beautiful.
I like your rotting fruit.
He likes it a lot.
You could have the rotting fruit if you want.
I put some rotting fruit in my pocket.
Okay.
Which
Hey,
is
guard, what's your name there, guard?
Marcus.
And I
I'm
don't know where I'm
Len.
going with this. I've run out of steam.
This is Petyr, and this is Steve.
I'm Steve.
And who are you?
I am Len, the lover of fruit.
That's okay. Yes. Come
I
this
vigorously
way.
love fruit.
Okay. Too much information. Come with us.
Yes, sir.
So you travel downwards closer to the citadel. As you travel, you see to your right there is once a fountain which clearly had a spring in it, which is now burst, and this water sort of rolls down the city and sort of creates this
Beautiful.
cascading river through the moss-covered streets. People scatter when they see you coming close, but they sort of like then watch from the broken buildings. just
Any
catching up.
particularly hard done by, like, homeless type people?
Give me a spot check, would you?
Worthy attempt.
It looks like a lot of the people are pretty, like, a lot of them when you see them walk and when you see them move, you see them wince. Like, the thorns are clearly still painful for them. None of them look like they're particularly, like, bad. You can actually, at some points, you look into buildings and you see that there are some thorn touch that are sort of chained up there.
Oh,
They
wow.
look like the feral ones
Yep.
that you're so used to seeing
Oh,
through
sure.
the rest of the world, and they look like they're like sort of scrabbling to get out.
Oh, jeez. Okay. As we're walking, I have 3 coins. I'll flick one of them at the poorest, most shabbiest looking child
Okay.
and say, "Here you go, young scallywag."
But don't you flip coins as part of your combat?
He doesn't literally do that
Okay.
in the game. He doesn't. He can't. He can still cast spells without carrying money.
Yes.
So the child sort of catches the coin and thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks at the coin, curious as to what to do with it. The guard says, "He's a young man. He's doesn't remember the time when we used money like that."
You don't use currency.
Oh well, no. It's just lying around the place.
Just thorns.
We don't really.
Just use thorns.
We don't really have need for much. Oh, damn, I keep starting to do the Steve voice. It's infectious.
We say that accent's addictive.
How do you lot buy food, eh? And women.
How do you buy women? Steve.
Steve comes from an earlier time. His grandpappy was sort of a bit racist.
We don't really do either of those things. We have what we need. The Thornsire makes sure we send out scouting parties to gather whatever supplies we require to keep the city functioning.
Sounds like a bit of liberal hippie nonsense to me.
We have been called tree huggers in the past. I don't.
Fascinating. Your culture is fascinating. I'm fascinated.
Overselling it.
One of the
I'm trying to create an air that we are not a threat to these people. We're surrounded by people that can kill us if they touch us.
One of the guards points towards Steve. What's he carrying there?
Oh, that's the skull of his grandfather. He's got a rope attached and it's full of dark crystals.
Oi, this is me grandpappy.
It's normal.
Okay. The one that says, "Do you think they've gone crazy? Do you think they've got the thorns?" And the other one's like, "No, I think they're just like that."
I'm making direct eye contact with the guy who thinks we have thorns. My vein is popping out of my neck. Trying to suppress the thorns that are boiling beneath my skin.
He looks at you like uncomfortably and looks away. So now you've made it to the Citadel gates. It towers above you. The walls are colossal, covered in moss and plants of all descriptions. The front gate is heavily guarded. The guards there are stoic and well armed. They're actually wearing armor, unlike the rest of the guards who just had weapons. And they look more skilled combatants, more dangerous than any Thorn you've ever seen before. The 2 guards, sort of the ones that had escorted you, walk up to them and sort of say, "We have these tourists, I suppose. They seem harmless."
I'm a genius. I whisper to the guy, "I'm a genius."
I raise my arm for a high five, and then realizing I shouldn't touch them, I put it down.
I raise my arm to...
Looks like I'm waving.
The guards look at the big bulky guards, look at each other and like look at you guys up and down, and one says, "We'll check with the Queen. One second." One of the guards, the watchman with you, is like, "She's not really a queen, but yeah. These guards, they mean well."
Tell us more about your political system.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
The Thornsire tells us to do stuff, and we do it.
So is that? Did you vote for her?
Well, can you give me a charm check to see how much info you can get out of this guy? Wrong dick.
Excellent attempt.
he senses your genuine interest in the subject. He's like, well,
He thinks I'm genuinely interested.
to be honest,
One idiot.
to be honest, we believe that she is the first of us. She's the one who was first cut by the thorn and ended up unintentionally, I'm sure, spreading it and then to those around her and so on and so forth. We believe that gives us her an insight into us in the way that we do not possess. She's even been known to save those who go mad from the thorn pain and return them to a semblance of sanity, though she can't do that for everyone.
I'm nodding interestedly. I think I have a friend who would be interested in this information. He lives in Canada.
You've been waiting
Maybe.
a while. It's time for you to do another check. It's to see whether the thorns are getting worse. You can feel them growing under your skin. You can feel, in particular, one thorn that's sort of like making its way up.
I have an excellent attempt.
Okay, you're able to recover your last remaining lost life points.
Yes.
And you are able to... You feel the thorn sort of like actually crawling up and you just jab your hand in there.
Poke it back down.
Yeah. And you are actually able to grab the thorn and just rip it out.
Ooh.
And it's the only way you can see to stop it getting further up, but the thorn-touched curse is broken on you.
Gasp.
You're returned to... You two see him just pull a thorn out of his shoulder, out of nowhere. Unless you're being stealthy about it. I don't think you're being stealthy.
wasn't
I think
being
you'll probably
stealthy.
scream in pain a little bit.
Ow, 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 ow. Ew, ew. Oh, it's gross. Ah, ooh, oh. Guys,
Oh,
what?
Oh, what the hell is that?
I don't know, man.
Wait, see, did you just pull the thorn out of your there?
Yeah. I mean, no.
That's not good.
It was a friend.
This,
I was keeping this for a friend. He lives in Canada.
it's something we should be worried about now.
No, I don't think you need to be worried
I'm
anymore.
feeling pretty worried, I must say.
One of the guards says, you were thorn-touched and you stopped it getting to you.
Yep, I guess so.
How long you been thorn
Wait, what?
touched, eh?
I mean, my friend was. Alright, I'm gonna come clean. You know, when we killed those dudes who were talking to us. Oh, by the way, we killed some of your guys.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
We
That's that.
we let one go, or two.
Two, yeah. There was a kid as well, so he's fine. Don't worry about him.
Yeah, he
okay.
hardly
Wait.
got hurt by a fireball.
Okay.
Okay,
We let
so
some
I
lovers go.
got a little bit super infected with the thorns, and
Dude, but didn't we share a cup when we stopped the rest? You could have warned me.
yeah, I thought I'd be fine. Are you fine? How you feeling?
I don't know.
I feel great.
I don't know.
I feel about as good as I did when we first started. So, no harm, no foul. Oh, sorry about the killing your guys.
I feel kind of melancholy. Is that?
That might no. I think that might just be like.
I hope you just killed the feral ones.
Yep.
Yep. I
They
think
were some feral
so.
fellas.
Oh, okay.
Jumped at us from some bushes, they did.
That sounds like a feral thing
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
They were
I mean,
mad fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One guy kept shooting into the air.
I don't think we need to go into detail.
No?
He's well aware of what they do.
Sorry.
They.
Yeah.
The heavily armored guards now return, and they're like, "The Thornsire wishes to see you. Please come inside." And he signals to someone who pulls open the big gates. They have a small door, but they can use the big gates.
This is really dramatic,
We did
guys.
it, we did it
It's-
though.
Oh, you've never heard someone use the big gates for me.
No,
before.
this is rattling and cranks. And
So you head down the causeway, and around the inside of the keep seems like a massive garden at this point. Plants everywhere, flowers. You
so beautiful.
see birds and so
Amazing.
on.
So glad we came here. This trip was well worth it.
This was a good tour
Yeah.
that you decided to tour us on
Yeah.
as tourists.
Well, I think we're the world's first tourist.
No wonder they were confused.
Yeah.
The hallway, you enter the hallway beyond the courtyard, and it stretches out a long way. There's torches that seem to be more fireflies than they are candles. There's candles, and the fireflies are just drawn to it, and they're lighting up the entire causeway. Eventually, you get to giant doors at the end. The big bulky guard sort of shoves them open, and you enter the court. You've heard stories. I don't know if any of you actually visited. Did you ever visit the royal courts in the Citadel before the war started?
I did not.
I don't remember.
You're not that sort of
I
upper
just
class
don't remember.
people. These
You're really on with the amnesia character.
You know what? I think the war was traumatic for me.
Just blocked it out. The things I did.
So I don't know what I did.
So these royal chambers were once famous around the world for their vaulted ceiling, their colossal vaulted ceiling. Now
So vaulted.
5 huge trees grow around the outer walls, their branches stretching out to support the roof. So what was once stone supports is now wooden arches of blossoming with flowers and leaves. Grass grows through the stone-walled floor, giving the whole chamber an appearance of a wild garden. In front of you, sitting atop a carved throne, is a woman with beautiful flowing hair that is wrapped entirely with thorns. You can see the sort of thorns growing all the way through her skin, but she beckons you to come closer. She has 4 guards.
Shove Steve forward.
Shove or gently push as to not.
He said shove.
I said shove. Go with it.
Get a bigger check to stay upright.
Oh, shove forward.
Excellent attempt.
Excellent. Okay, you turn it into a skidding bow as you go, and she says, "What brings you to my court, strangers, humans, and spider things?"
We was just travelling from a local settlement, and we had heard great stories about your little civilization you got going on here. I mean, none of us have talked to a Thorny in a
Thorny. I think that's a derogatory term.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Don't
no.
call him that.
I beg your pardon, Your Majesty.
I'll overlook it.
And we was just wanting to see what it was all about.
Well, you've seen my city now. You've seen my people. And what do you think?
Fascinating.
Oh, it is a marvel.
I don't understand all the rotting fruit.
We have very little need for nutrients beyond what the suns and the earth gives us.
You said suns. Tell me more.
There are 2 suns in the sky, one of which appeared 10 years ago
I've heard
during the
about
battle
this.
to protect me.
To protect you.
Well, we don't know where the sun came from. I have my theories as to where the sun came from, but
Tell me more.
give me a charm check and I might tell you more. She doesn't ask specifically for a charm check.
A worthy attempt. It's a worthy attempt.
He's like,
Worthy.
tell me more.
I'm flexing a little bit as I'm like, I'm interested in hearing more about
Are you
this.
doing
My muscles are
Are you
intrigued.
doing the thing where the pecs move at the and you're just like, tell me more?
I am doing that, but you can't see it because I'm wearing armor. But I know I'm doing it. I feel good about it.
She frowns and says, I'll tell you, as long as you agree to help my people. You've come all this way. I don't know if I can trust you, and my experience with people like you is that I cannot trust you.
I think we should hear her out. I think we should hear her
And we should. I mean, what other choice do we have, really?
out. It's true, we're surrounded by guards and
We've made it this far.
I believe that there is a man in a tower in the mountains
Another tower.
who created that sun. Although the sun saved my people from conflict, it still dooms this world. It does not let us ever associate with people, for it seems to, whenever there is a sufficiently large gathering of humans or spiderkin, it wipes them off the face of the earth. The sun scorches them away. I've seen it numerous times, and it also destroys any of our attempts to move too far outside the citadel. Roads and bridges destroyed by the sun. Just
So you're
carving
saying
away.
you're trapped?
Yes. It's
Wait, when you say destroyed, do you mean the sun is shooting like beams of
it
light?
unleashes a solar flare, I call them.
So it's like a heat wave.
that incinerates and just scorches the land, and more importantly, scorches any mortals there. It strangely avoids Thornkin, but I know not why.
Oh, well, you know, if we don't go looking for this tower, the sun's not going to scorch our bullocks.
I can't promise that.
Don't talk like that in front of the queen. Not really a queen, but you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have a way of talking and I don't know how to change it.
He has a way with the ladies.
Steve's a little different.
I was never brought up with this hoity-toity royalty nonsense. I'm a man of the village.
Well, I don't think of myself as royalty. I consider myself more a necessity in this troubled times, I suppose. But to answer your question, there may be a way to approach the tower while avoiding open sunlight.
An
There
umbrella.
is a.
Does this sun ever set?
It moves over the land. It travels, but it always returns to around our city, to around Mightstone.
So this man in the tower in the mountains. Why do you think he has something to do with the sun?
He's the only one I know with the power.
So he's a wizard, sorcerer type guy.
They called him the Mage King.
Ah, he sounds alright.
I believe he's the one who created the Thorn Curse in the first place.
Interesting.
Well,
I think we've got a new quest objective.
what's in it for us to check this dude out?
Besides,
I mean, guy out.
Well, I suppose we have armaments and
Tell me
items
more.
that might be able to aid you, and I know for a fact that he hoards incredibly powerful magical artifacts. So, if you're in it for the money, which, yes, I can see from your faces that you are, but...
Oh, you've been looking to upgrade me crypt?
Steve, you're a weird guy.
I'm not to argue with that.
You said you're a man of the village.
Oh, you the village crypt?
Yeah, it was just under the village.
Well, do we have a deal?
I think we do.
I think we do.
Let's not shake on it.
Yeah, we're not going to shake on this one.
But let's nod.
Understandably. Well, she motions to one of the guards. Get the stuff. He goes off, and
Careful, everyone. What's happening?
he comes back with a object wrapped in cloth.
He's got a weapon.
Fireball.
Fireballs!
No, I don't. No,
I say I'm not taking a bath.
She
I'll turn horribly wrong.
she holds it forward for one of you to take, or the guard holds it forward for one of you to take.
Can we see what it is?
We each reach at the same time.
The guard unwraps it, revealing a blade that is completely black, and it seems to sort of pulse, like you can feel sort of pulses sort of traveling up the blade. It has ornate runes in a language you're not familiar with.
I do my web sling move to nab it.
You don't have a web sling.
He's Spider-Man.
Petyr Picard does a hand gesture.
Yes,
Nothing
go
happens.
Web, go.
Everyone's staring at it.
He passes you the sword.
Did you call me the weird one?
You're right. I'm sorry, Steve.
Okay, so this will deal 4 damage to a fallen melee and push them. This is probably not great for me. Who likes to do moving things?
I like to do moving things.
I throw the sword at you and say, "Here, check this out."
Ow! literally hits me in the face. I vigorously attempt to block it and fail. My nose is vigorously bleeding.
You receive a magic sword to the face.
I killed him.
It says Nightmare Blade. You may spend a card and use your weapon instead of playing a card during your turn. Deal 4 damage to a foe in melee and push them. Now I currently have a blade that deals 4 damage to up to 2 foes in melee.
So you can carry both and use a move action to switch to the one that you want.
Oh, actually, I have a question because I've got 4 arms.
No. No is the answer to you, but you can't carry 8 weapons.
You do have 4 arms, just they're very spindly arms. You need to use
I need
2
all
to
of them
use-
to hold anything.
They're each the value together of half an
Regular
arm.
Yeah. Basically, yes. You're best with long spear-like weapons. And she also gives you, she says, just in case any of you out there still use coins, here is a stash of wealth from
10 coins.
the royal treasury, I suppose.
I am of the opinion that Steve looks like he could use some money.
You saying I'm looking like an oboe?
Yep. Well, Steve,
Definitely the.
your beard goes down to the ground.
Oi?
It's where his power comes from.
Here, have
You
some
try
coins,
find a good
Steve.
razor in these parts.
Did you carry a scythe?
No,
No?
that's just in the model.
Oh.
Okay. So, with those weapons, she says, okay, follow me to
Where do I put
the
this?
tunnel.
Tunnel.
Yes. So it turns out that the nobles built an escape route, a one-way escape route out of the city. It will mean you can avoid the sun's glare and approach much closer to the base of the mountains.
I say we take the tunnel.
The alternative is that you can go through the woods, but there are ferals in there.
It's a tunnel. Let's go to the tunnel.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've never been down the tunnel, but I'm sure
Great.
it's perfectly safe.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Do you have a torch or anything? It looks pretty dark in there.
I do.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. She says, yes.
For everyone listening, I held up my hand and the fireball ignited in it. Like a
Okay.
torch.
It's not very bright. It's more hot than it is bright, but it'll
Does
do
burn
the
down.
job.
It's about as effective as a lighter.
Yeah, it's
Far more effective in movies than in real life.
yeah.
So you start making your way down this tunnel. She gives you a sort of a low bow and she says, "Good luck. I might have some of my people follow you from behind once we've prepared ourselves, just in case you need backup.
It's very kind of you. Thank you.
But good luck."
What? Before we go, what dangers are you expecting us to face out here? Do you know anything of what to expect?
Are there spiders?
Other
Not fond
than
of spiders.
There's a guy in a
Elephants.
tower.
Can you give me a quick knowledge check for yourselves?
Knowledge.
Intelligence check to see what you know.
All 3 of us?
Fumble.
Fumble.
I will
Worthy attempt.
use one of my intellects.
Okay.
After failure.
I
I don't know shit about anything.
She says, I've heard of that there are creatures that stalk the mountains that keep anyone out. And there is a perpetual storm. You know that there's a perpetual storm
I've heard about this
above the
perpetual
mountain.
storm.
So it is, who knows what dangers lie there, but that it is aggressively protected by some sort of arcane creatures, I believe.
It looks chilly. Did you bring a sweater?
Well, I quite enjoy chili.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
Okay.
So, I think it's an acquired taste, though. Like some people can't.
You're talking about the food, aren't you?
What were you talking about?
Yeah, let's move on.
So you get to the end of a corridor, and she says, "Okay, are you ready?"
Yeah.
I am
as
ready.
as I can be.
As soon as you say you're ready, she grabs one of the stone blocks and like twists it, and the floor like tips underneath you, and you sort of slide.
I wasn't ready.
You find yourself sliding backwards down this sort of slick water, like there's sort of a layer of water as you sort of slide down it. Eventually, you sort of skid to the top. To the bottom, not to the top. It's a downhill.
Are we having fun or are we horrified?
That's up to you.
Whee!
I'm terrified.
Yeah. Steve
You
is
ever
not
heard that?
impressed.
You ever heard that, Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the drain pipe?
I personally I fought off a disease, so I'm just
Just loving life.
every minute is a blessing.
You're facing death, and now it's just amazing.
I'm just having the time of my life.
Hashtag blessed.
Oh my god.
You accidentally land on a thorn. No. So
Piece of shit.
your fire's gone out when you went down.
Oh, yeah,
the hill,
for
but you
sure.
arrived at the bottom with a sort of splash and sort of knee-high water.
Guys, it's really dark. I can't see anything. Can you see anything?
Can we see anything?
How well do spiders see in the dark? I do have 8 eyes.
Yeah, you can see fairly well, but you should probably light your fire again
All right,
in your hand.
All wet. I can't.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay.
I'm
It's a bit-
fanning his hand with my hand.
Okay. You might probably let's get out of the water then, and let's have you feel your way around. I guess you can see a little bit, and
Yeah.
you can see that there is like steps out of the water.
I don't like this.
Okay.
Not sure we should have trusted a Thorny.
Alright.
My arm is all wet.
I'm just gonna light a fire. Let's not fuck around.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Eventually,
Whoosh.
it doesn't push so much as,
Ah.
but you can sort of
Fizzle.
see.
There's little sparks going.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit of a strobe light effect happening.
But you're able to see the corridor in front of you, and so you're able to head out in the opposite direction from where you.
Is there any
slid
sign of like torches along the walls or something?
down. You see
Right.
sconces, but there's no torches in them.
Someone's taken the torches.
As you guys move along, can you guys give me a subterfuge check to see how
I
well
am.
you navigate?
When do
I'm
these
gonna-
flip back? Right?
When you've rested.
Yeah.
Because you haven't had
How
the
often do we
opportunity.
shuffle these back in?
Every time you do a check.
Okay.
Worthy attempt.
With the attempt.
Oh, excellent attempt.
Okay. So.
I need to check mine still.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna cut it. There we go. Worthy attempt.
Well,
The
that was
suspense. In
You had
Mediums.
So these two
Success.
are walking forward when you sort of feel something move in front of you. So Len grabs Steve and Peter and just pulls them back as these blades sort of like fire out of the wall and like embed
Whoa.
in the other side of the wall. It appears there might be traps here.
Guys, I think there
Holy
might be
shit!
some traps
Alright.
on account of you almost both just died. And I saved you. I just want that on the record. I saved both of your lives just then.
Alright. You're still a lying piece
You
of
got
shit.
those coins, right?
Oh, you got the coins.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
You know.
So you have to tread very carefully. It looks like there are pressure plates just under the water level, so they're very hard to spot. And it seems as soon as you step on them, it looks like you've already stepped on a few, but luckily the mechanisms had rusted away. But some of them still seem to be working.
You know what? I think maybe I can run through this.
I was going to suggest something.
Are there any dead bodies around?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like no one's been down here in a very long time.
I have a suggestion for Len.
I'm touching the brick that we just triggered. Is anything happening?
No.
Okay. It looks like these only go off once.
Right.
I feel like I can outrun these.
Len, let me suggest this to you before you do this.
Tell me.
You have a backpack full of weights.
Yeah. I love them. Love weights.
I suggest you take... These are like dumbbell weights, right?
All kinds of weights.
I suggest...
Barbells, medicine balls.
Oh, medicine, perfect.
Sandbags.
Medicine balls, perfect.
Oh God, I love weights.
Now you've been
Love 'em.
carrying these for days
Yes.
now. Actually, as long as I've known you.
All the time. I'm never without my weights.
And finally, here is a situation where they might actually come in handy instead
Right.
of being a massive burden
Yeah,
on you
because
and
I can
everyone
carry
else
them.
around
You're
you.
right. I can lift them from my muscles. Yes.
What you can do,
Go
grab
on.
that medicine ball,
Yeah.
roll it down the corridor and have it trigger every
Hang
single
on.
trap along the way.
Are you saying I should get rid of my medicine
I'm
ball?
saying you should collect your medicine ball at the end of
Whoa,
the tunnel.
hang on. What happens if it gets damaged?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It
Whoa,
won't, it won't
hang
be
on.
damaged.
Did you just say it doesn't matter what happens to my weights? Whoa, hang on.
Damaged.
These are my weights, man.
I'll cast a spell on it. So
Whoa,
it's
hang on.
fine.
What kind of spell?
A protection spell.
Whoa, hang on. That sounds amazing. I am in.
All right, roll your medicine ball.
Okay, I'm rolling it.
Hey, roll your protection. Roll a vigor check. to
Okay.
How well you roll the medicine ball.
I'm
roll
shuffling
a
in my worthy
intelligence
attempt
check
from
to see how
before.
well you ward the medicine
Oh,
ball.
I was lying about that.
Okay.
I have no ability to ward anything.
But I'm convinced. I am 100% convinced that my medicine ball is
If I had ability to ward
Fine.
things, I would ward myself constantly.
Okay. Okay.
Not just medicine balls.
Here we go. Worthy attempt. I don't feel confident with that one. I'm going to use a vigor check. Here we go. Flipping another one. Worthy attempt. I love it. Let's do it.
Oh my god. That's the most mediocre. You tried so hard to be mediocre.
I wind my medicine ball back behind me. I flex my muscle as I turn it back, and then I sort of, with like about 70% of my strength, I roll it. It's kind of got some spin on it because I didn't, it doesn't really.
That's a worthy attempt.
You know,
the attempt.
it sort of rolls against the side and then sort of centers itself.
So it triggers a number of plates which quickly embed it with metal blades. It gets about what seems like halfway along the tunnel and
Oh,
it just
they
sort of stops.
It
and
must
just-
have been enchanted blades to get through
What
my
happened?
bullets.
What's the word?
It's all right, Len. We can get you a new medicine ball.
My wings!
The,
I'm just horrified.
the weird thorny lady gave us some cash. We can
You'll buy you another
we can
medicine
buy you a
ball.
new one. You
Thank
weird.
God we got rid of that
gym
fucking medicine ball.
rat.
And we- I was sick of carrying it around.
You run over to your medicine ball, but it's too late for it. It's already leaking out into the water.
I'm cradling it in my arm. It's gonna be okay.
It looks
Molly, it's gonna be okay.
I look at Len in the face and say, "You did this."
No!
you can see that there might be some light ahead of you in the tunnel. And
What's that? Up ahead? Is that some light? The end of the tunnel?
It might.
You're just jumping from one thing to another.
I have no intelligence.
All right. Oh, suddenly everything makes
Everything makes sense. I'm just really vigorous.
sense. Now I get it.
I'm really vigorous.
So you head towards the tunnel. It looks like the medicine ball has triggered all of the traps, and you're able to make it to the end. And you can see there's like a crack in the ground where water is spilling out. There's a little bit of light, but it looks like you've reached a closed-off end to the tunnel.
Oh, weird.
There's only a little bit of light coming out there. Otherwise, it looks like a dead end.
I prepare a fireball.
Okay.
Is a fireball the right thing to do here?
Uh,
I have no intelligence.
How about
but
we have?
it's a
You
crack
have
in the
you have a
wall.
sack full of
I have a lot of weights.
dumbbells.
I'm also pretty strong.
Let's just start smashing the floor with these
Oh,
dumbbells.
I don't love this idea. I just
Oh,
saw what happened.
don't worry. I'll ward them.
Mm-mm. No,
I'll use a
no.
protection spell on
No,
them.
no. I'm not. You know what? I've paid too high a price today. I don't. It's time for someone else to make a sacrifice. I pulled a thorn out of my body earlier. I am still bleeding from that. My medicine ball lies dead in the tracks behind us.
was never alive. Resurrect it. Dead.
In frustration, Steve leans against one of the walls and accidentally presses the pressure plate.
Oh.
Oh no!
Searching for things. We should have thought of that instead of going straight to blowing stuff up and smashing things with medicine balls.
The floor tips open underneath you, and you tip into what is at this point a waterfall, and you just go splashing down into the river just below where you are. Looks like you've come out of a tunnel above a stream. And in front of you is a
rolling plains, and at the far side of that are these gigantic mountains.
Nice looking
You're
mountains.
momentarily blinded by the sunlight as it shines down on you.
That sunlight made me sneeze.
Oh, it's the hay fever. It's the field. It's the field, right? Yeah.
I forgot to tell you guys, I'm allergic. It's spring. All those thorns are blooming.
As you look on and admiring the beauty and blinded by the sunlight, you hear a voice behind you. Hello, gentlemen. Would you like to buy some wares?
And we're gonna find out who that person is in the next episode. Tune back in about a week. We'll be finding out who's selling us goods, what's across the plains. We're gonna head to that tower. I'm gonna still probably be upset about my medicine ball, let's be honest. So see you then.
See ya.
I find it's easiest to pick like a I don't know, something that's quite extreme for
Yeah,
a character
yeah.
voice.
That's pretty good.
I had one of my favourite ones was a character with a stutter. Because then if I couldn't think of what to say next, I just stuck in a stutter and then
Yeah, it's part of the character. That's cool. I was thinking of trying to do a like English gentleman. It's like, oh, what's going on here? Oh. It didn't work. I tried to do it once and I forgot about it. And I didn't even do it that well. It was in that first fight that I was like, oh, sis, and then forgot all about it. I could just start it in the next episode.
Yeah.
Well, I say we should.
Yep. I think you should. I think you should.
To get all jowly and be like,
Or okay, we could have this guy do something to you. So that
you're cursed with the English gentleman voice. Oh no!
It gives you a magic monocle.
Yeah. Yeah.